Hey guys, Jay here. So today I want to first of all share with you guys a bit of update and then probably like a soft build guide kind of thing for this build. This is the AUTOSPARK build. So it is what you're seeing on the screen here, right? So when I kill the first pact, it kind of just triggers spark everywhere and yeah, kill everything else on the screen pretty much. And if you move fast enough forward, the spark that you created or you triggered before can actually move with you and just kill more packs, right? So let me just finish this one really quick. Sorry. Let me just try to finish this part really quick, and then I can move to a more linear part of the map. Then we can showcase kind of the potential for clearing. All right, so this is a very, very big abyss map, by the way. So we are going to have pretty decent density, right? And even if I don't do anything here, there will be spark going. Oh, I lied. There was not any spark going. Okay, good. First thing. Anyway, you kind of get the idea, right? Maybe I should not be choosing a abyssal map because the abyss crack here actually, some part of them actually block the travel of the spark, so it feels a little bit clunky. Sometimes where you get a abyss in a very, very narrow area, and it can feels a little bit weird. But normally it should feels like that, right? So when you just kill one, you can kind of just move along. And in maps where you can actually like sprint, you can sprint around like this one, and the spark is going to kill everything for you, right? As long as you have some of them goes with you. So this is the like kind of 3.0 version of this AutoSpark build. I have made one in the original patch, original release of the game with Earthbound, which is the staff that I am using here to trigger the AutoSpark. And then I have another version that is cast on crit with the Choir of the Storm in the 0.2 patch. And now I go back to the Earthbound staff. Disclaimer, by the way, this is not a cheap character at all. This is super, super expensive to my personal standard. This league, I do make a little bit more money in terms of like just currency because I got into profit crafting and have decent success with it. So I do have a little bit of extra currency lying around, and so therefore I would try to just put as much as possible into this character. And yeah, so far the result is decent. It's not like the best that it could be. It could be a little bit better, right? So the problem with the staff is it doesn't have any level to spell, and that is such a powerful thing to improve your overall damage, right? So if you are using a rare staff here, this is a +7 staff, right? But if you are looking at the Earthbound, it has basically nothing. A little bit of lightning damage, cast speed, we doesn't care because we don't really cast that often. The thing that we care about is just damage, and the staff only have like 100% increased damage on average, which is a very, very small number, right? So as you can see here, even though it automatically goes off, sometimes we will need to switch into our offhand weapon and actually do some real damage with a +7 staff in this case. Now, I choose a staff instead of a wand and focus because a wand and focus is way, way more expensive. So I choose a staff with sigil of power. So I put it down and it would just give me stages of sigil of power here. And it is a pretty decent amount of more damage. So 15% more per stage. 4 stage is 60% more damage. So it is just pretty nice, right? So I think I have cleared this map. No, actually I didn't. There should be monsters left. Okay, over here. Let me just try and clear this the rest of this map first, and then no, actually, let's just talk about the build. Screw it. Anyway, Earthbound is the item that we are building around here. So it triggers Spark on killing a shocked enemy, and this doesn't specify that this shocked cannot be caused by the spark that is triggered by the weapon itself. So in theory and in reality, This spark can just create more spark if they shock and kill more enemies. Therefore, you will see the kind of chain reaction that I just showed you in the clear, right? Uh, Again, like this one, it is a very, very small and narrow corridor, so the spark can actually not travel through, and we have some problem. So it's not really like an insane good thing, but it's okay, right? It's pretty decent. The clear is pretty good. Really, I have a lineage gem from that random thing. Cool. Right, so other than that, the other gear I am using right now, I am using Atziri's Acuity. Normally with AUTOSPARK before, we use Killjoy. Killjoy is basically double the amount of spark damage from the trigger. So if you feel like you're not having enough damage, use Killjoy instead of Atziri's Acuity. Atziri's Acuity is more defensive. It gives way more instant recovery from Leech, so that is really good. I use 2 rings, Seed of Cataclysm, for the most amount of damage possible. Basically, just crit damage. And Alpha's Howl is my helmet. I want to have extra spirit so I can just be lazier and get cast on critical and cast on ailment in here. Defensively, I think I am okay. I am defensing. I am defensing. I am having my defense layer. The biggest one is the Blasphemy Temporal Chain here. So it slow down the enemy. Currently, the white enemies are being slowed down by 70%, which is enough, and it doesn't require a lot of investment from me. I mainly just go for damage. So Alpha's How is the helmet of choice. I also try to get 2 socket, which cost me 3 divine, and I get 10% increased damage taken from enemies that I cursed, which is all the time because I do have a blasphemy up all the time, right? The amulet tried to get spirit and spell skill. Did I say that this build is not cheap, right? This is pretty expensive item to craft and to buy. And these are like a couple of divine. This can be like a 2-3 divine with some spirit and as much ES as possible, as much resistance as possible. This is just life and resistances for the belt, life and resistance, and maybe a little bit of ES from the boots. Not the best here. And yeah, this one is actually not that expensive. The staff, you want level 20, right? So level 20 spark, you can equip it at level 90 character. It will give you 1 extra socket, so basically 1 additional link. And as you can see here, I am having Rakiata's Flow, which is extremely freaking expensive. When I bought it, it is 25 divine. Right now, I don't know, maybe it's 26, 27, who cares? Ricochet, so it basically, we don't care about the chain, we actually just care about this is the only support gem that can give you free pierce without any actual damage, any less multiplier to your damage. So this is pretty cool. I really like this one, even though technically it doesn't provide any true damage, it just also provide pierce without reducing our damage. Atalui's Bloodletting is a lot of extra damage. Percentage-wise, it is around 40% more damage. So 40-45% something. So it is pretty damn good support gem. I use Embitter because I want to convert all of these extra physical damage into cold damage. So we benefit from the Rakiata's Flow inverted resistance and projectiles acceleration. If you want to, by the way, if you don't have the money, you can use probably don't use Embitter and just get like pinpoint critical and super critical in here. Right now, by the way, this setup I have only 80% crit chance, so maybe super critical and pinpoint critical is going to just give me like around 500% more critical damage and then 100% crit chance. So if you cannot afford Rakiata's Flow, just remove this, just remove Embitter as well, and then put crit into it, right? My normal spark that I self-cast, I have pinpoint critical, so I could get 100% crit chance. Now that I think about it, maybe removing it, yeah, removing it, it would give me more damage. I have not been touching this support, this setup for a while, so apparently this is just less damage. Let me just find a better support gem in here. Maybe mobility for less movement penalty is going to be to feels good. So yeah, we have a lot of options. Cast on critical here, mainly just utility gems, really. Elemental weakness, flame wall, frost bomb. So this apply exposure. We do have a little bit of curse scaling, so this is pretty good. So these two is going to be mostly for bosses. For clearing, right? For clearing, the Rakiata's flow is going to invert every monster. We don't want to self-curse and self-exposure any monster. And these spark cannot trigger any cast on crit or cast on ailment because it is a trigger spell by itself. So yeah, we go for invert for the spark here, and we settle for elemental weakness and frostbomb for single target. Potent exposure for better exposure from frostbomb, and fortress, so the flame wall actually create a nicer circle, so projectiles can pass through more consistently instead of just a line, a very small line. Cast on ailment, this is my single target, so I have it with lightning conduit because this just is kind of OP for single target. And elements of focus, we don't need to shock with this one, so elements of focus. Pinpoint crit, super crit, these two give me like a 100% crit chance. A lot less crit multi than I thought. What if I remove pinpoint critical? Okay, it's not that much. Anyway, this is currently what I have in here. Concentrated area of effects, so we don't care about AoE. We just need some single target. And that is the two main trigger. We also have overwhelming presence. This is to reduce enemies threshold for ailment mostly, so we can shock easier, and it combo really nicely with Alpha's Howl because the presence area of effect is double. And I also have Ultra's Exodus. This is a very cheap support gem, like 20x or something. Give me +3 to level of this thing of overwhelming presence. So very, very effective for this single gem. Blasphemy, I am having with Temporal Chain, Heightened Curse, Slow Potency, and Ritualistic Curse. This is mainly for 50% area of effect. It is better than a increased AoE. If I have a sixthling, it is just going to be increased AoE. So the area of effect of the curse is going to be even better, even bigger. And I do have a arc button that I rarely use. So this thing, I only kind of use it in like heavy bossing, like when I try Pinnacle or something, because the arc itself have a 50% more magnitude of shock. So we can inflict a much stronger shock on the enemy, and then therefore it will improve all the damage it taken. And then also it improved the more multiplier on the lightning conduit because it is 20% more damage per 5% shock. And right now I can shock enemies with this one for 75% instead of the normal shock, which is 36%. So that is much more, right? So I'm having lightning exposure to apply exposure immediately as well, and shock and pinpoint and overcharge. Pinpoint is here just so it always crit. So it is more consistent. Holy, this is 90% crit chance. I don't think I need pinpoint. There's a lot of things that I need to actually smooth out. So let's see. Oh, this is actually the... Oh, it's not. It is not. This is another crossbow. I thought it is the Democracy Lich crossbow, but it is not. So I will make sure I will change the support gem setup. I will update these two support gem here. What I will use in the Mobalytics. That should be like a minor detail, right? The last thing I want to talk about in this video is the skill tree. So the skill tree, first of all, we are a blood mage, and right now I am using the Grasping Wound and Crimson Power. I am debating pretty hard to go for Gore Spike instead of this one, but if I remove this one, Crimson Power, I'm looking at around like 1.7k life or something, so it is pretty bad. So it is not going to give me a lot of crit damage bonus, even though I really want damage. Defensively, I don't think I have a big problem. Sometimes, rarely, I still die, but it is very rare. As a soft core character, it is okay. So, Crimson Power for extra life, basically. So our body armor needs to get as much ES as possible, right? So it results in this. If you want as much ES as possible, you can potentially tinker with like turning off one of these cast on setup in your single target weapon set. So you might not need everything here. Maybe you don't need the curse on the single target setup, and you don't need the extra spirit, right? So you don't need the cast on critical here on clearing, so you can turn it off on clearing. So maybe you can tinker with that, but for me, I prefer just a simple setup. Activate everything on both weapon set if possible. So I go for this one, right? And base crit chance for every spell is 15%. This is really, really damn good because the lightning spell does not have that high of a base crit. And some life leech so we can sustain better. Skill tree. Skill tree, skill tree. We go and grab as much crit as possible, basically. As much crit as possible, right here. And some projectile speed. Some duration, if possible. Some ES, that is conveniently around the nodes that we are already in. Some shock chance and shock effect, so this is very, very good. And yeah, that's about it. The interesting thing and the more mechanically important thing is the keystone. So number one keystone, Whisper of Doom. We are having temp chain around our character all the time, and we have elemental weakness on cast on crit, so we can have it on single target. So that is very, very simple, self-explanatory. We have Sacrifice of Blood. This is from the Undying Hate in the tribute to Tech Rod here. So we have a lot of life regen, and this helps to scale the damage of the Atalui Bloodletting as well. A lot of blood mages already using this combo before, far before I used it. I know this from Captain Lance video pretty early on, and now I'm using it in this build, right? So I am having it in this slot here. It is okay, right? So number one, we travel here, we get the keystone. Number two, we travel here, we get this keystone as well. Zealot's Oath. Excess life recovery from regeneration applied to ES. So when we are fighting, right? Let's look at the maximum life here. There will be the life regen right behind it, right? So we have life regen here, and this is only from me casting Spark, which is probably the lowest cost that I have. If we are like leaning up monster, okay, I don't think we can actually do it in this. Let me just go here and see if we can actually find a pack of monster here. Okay, here is the good pack of monster, right? You see here we get like 900 life recovery per second, and it can go up much more. This is just a very small pack of monster. If we have like a bigger pack of monster, we are going to have a lot more regen. And when we fill our life with leech with regen, the rest of the regen is going to go and quickly, very quickly fill up our ES. We don't get hit often because we slow down enemies massively. So yeah, together it works pretty well. So that is why I choose Zealot's Oath instead of waiting for recharge. Regen is much more consistent. From the moment that I switched to this setup, basically I just died like twice. And it is due to like carelessly sprinting into an abyss and then refuse to log out. I have probably most of the time I have like 3-4 seconds to log out, but that is such a hardcore thing. I just don't do it. And then I get a little bit of aura effect here, which affect my curse aura, so the blasphemy temp chain, and also affect the overwhelming presence. And then last but not least, we go down here to grab blood magic. In the previous video, I was using the blood magic helmet, but that blood magic helmet gives nothing. And apparently, when I figure out this setup, we kind of need a way to find 2 keystone, one for sacrifice of blood here, and another one we need to get Zealot's Oath. So it is much smoother. So in the end, getting blood magic here suddenly becomes 4 travel point, 5 travel point, and 1 jewel slot, which is good. Normally a jewel slot is worth like 3 points. So 1, 2, and 3 is good. So basically we only travel 1, 2, 3 point for the keystone, which is definitely worth it in my opinion. So yeah, that concludes the skill tree and passive and everything. So thanks for watching. Sorry, right now I seriously am really tired. I have a terrible headache from yesterday until now. The sleep didn't went well. My back hurt, my neck hurt, my shoulder hurt for some reason. I think I got kind of a virus or something, probably. So I'll go lay down for a while after I post this video, and I will make sure that I will do much better in like detailed explanation in my Mobalytic guide, and then I will continue to update the guide with like crafting and stuff later, because all the items this league is very craftable. So the main item that I think if you cannot buy for cheap on the market, I will go ahead and give you step-by-step crafting for the items. For example, this staff is totally craftable, very deterministically, pretty cheap as well. So yeah, that is everything for this video today. Thanks for watching. Again, sorry if I messed up anywhere. I am extremely tired, massive headache right now, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.